Well, good morning and welcome to the September 3rd, 2025 Hempstead Town Board meeting. Madam Clerk, can you please call the roll?
Yes, Supervisor Ferretti.
Here.
Councilman Dunn.
Here.
Deputy Supervisor Gooseby.
Here.
Councilwoman Miller.
Here.
Councilman Muscarella.
Here.
Councilwoman Ryder.
Here.
Councilman Schneider.
Here.
Okay, thank you, Madam Clerk. Councilman Dunn, if you could please lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
All rise, face the American flag. Place your right hand over your heart and join me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman Dunn. Madam Clerk, please call the first public hearing.
Yes, so on the public hearings calendar, we have a proposed local law regarding regulations and restrictions to limit parking in Belmore, Elmont, Franklin Square, North Merrick, and West Hempstead and Woodmere.
Thank you. Does any board member wish to speak on this item? Any member of the public wish to speak on this item? Okay. Since there are no speakers, may I have a motion?
I move the public hearing be closed and the board adopt the item.
Okay.
Second.
Supervisor Ferretti.
Aye.
Councilman Dunn.
Aye.
Deputy Supervisor Gooseby.
Aye.
Councilwoman Miller.
Aye.
Councilman Muscarella.
Aye.
Councilwoman Ryder.
Aye.
Councilman Schneider.
Aye.
Okay, Madam Clerk, please call the second public hearing.
Yes, we have a proposed local law regarding parking or standing prohibitions in Belmore, East Meadow, near East Rockaway, near Floral Park, Franklin Square, Hewlett, North Belmore, South Hempstead, Uniondale, Wantaw, West Hempstead, and Woodmere.
Thank you. Does any board member wish to speak on this item? Any member of the public wish to speak on this item? Hi, sir. If you could please state your name and address for the record, please.
Yes, good morning all. Chris Jacobs, Uniondale. Can I get the address to the Uniondale address for this particular item?
Sorry, can you repeat that?
Oh, can I get the address for the Uniondale location of this particular item?
I don't understand what he's saying.
Yes, sir.
Good morning, Supervisor Ferretti, Deputy Supervisor Gooseby, Town Board. For that item, it's 931 Goodrich Street. We're installing a handicap parking in front of the house, and we're just adopting and repealing some parking restrictions because it's near Uniondale High School at that location. So we're fitting in the handicap parking.
Thank you for the information. Appreciate it.
No problem.
Thank you, sir. Do we have any other speakers that wish to be heard? Okay, then can we have a motion?
I move that the public hearing be closed and the board adopt the item.
Second motion.
Supervisor Ferretti.
Aye.
Councilman Dunn.
Aye.
Deputy Supervisor Gooseby.
Aye.
Councilwoman Miller.
Aye.
Councilman Muscarella.
Aye.
Councilwoman Ryder.
Aye.
Councilman Schneider.
Aye.
Madam Clerk, can you please call the third public hearing?
We have a proposed local law regarding arterial stops in Baldwin, Belmore, Merrick, Oceanside, near Valley Stream, and Wantaw.
Thank you. Does any board member wish to be heard on this item? Any member of the public? Okay, is there no more speakers? Can I have a motion?
I move that the public hearing be closed and that the board consider the item.
Second.
Supervisor Ferretti.
Aye.
Councilman Dunn.
Aye.
Deputy Supervisor Gooseby.
Aye.
Councilwoman Miller.
Aye.
Councilman Muscarella.
Aye.
Councilwoman Ryder.
Aye.
Councilman Schneider.
Aye.
Madam Clerk, can you please call the fourth public hearing?
We have a proposed local law regarding traffic regulations in the vicinity of schools in East Meadow, Oceanside, and Uniondale.
Okay, thank you. Does any board member wish to be heard on this item? Any member of the public wish to be heard on this item? As there are no speakers, may I have a motion?
I move that we pass this resolution.
Second.
Supervisor Ferretti.
Aye.
Councilman Dunn.
Aye.
Deputy Supervisor Gooseby.
Aye.
Councilwoman Miller.
Aye.
Councilman Muscarella.
Aye.
Councilwoman Ryder.
Aye.
Councilman Schneider.
Aye.
Madam Clerk, please call the fifth public hearing.
We have a public hearing adopting the Town of Hempstead's public parking field maps showing parking regulations at certain parking fields in Belmore B3.
Okay, does any member of the board wish to be heard on this item? Any member of the public wish to be heard on this item? Okay, there being no comment, may I have a motion?
I move that the public hearing be closed and that the board consider the item.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Supervisor Ferretti.
Aye.
Councilman Dunn.
Aye.
Deputy Supervisor Gooseby.
Aye.
Councilwoman Miller.
Aye.
Councilman Muscarella.
Aye.
Madam Clerk.
Councilwoman Ryder,
Aye.
Councilman Schneider.
Aye.
Madam Clerk, please call the sixth public hearing.
Yes, we have a proposed handicap parking on public streets in Baldwin, Belmore, East Meadow, Elmont, Franklin Square, Levittown, Oceanside, Seaford, Uniondale, Wantagh, and West Hempstead.
Thank you. Does any member of the board wish to be heard on this item? Any member of the public wish to be heard on this item? Okay, there being no comment, can I have a motion?
I move that we pass this resolution.
Second.
Supervisor Ferretti.
Aye.
Councilman Dunn.
Aye.
Deputy Supervisor Gooseby.
Aye.
Councilwoman Miller.
Aye.
Councilman Muscarella.
Aye.
Councilwoman Ryder.
Aye.
Councilman Schneider.
Aye.
Madam Clerk, please call item number 7.
We have a public hearing to consider authorizing the Town of Hempstead Sanitary District Number 1 to sell certain surplus land.
Mr. Supervisor, may I address the board on this matter?
Mr. Town Attorney.
Based upon my conversations with the chairman of the Sanitary District Number 1, I would ask that this matter be tabled at this time.
Can I have a motion to that effect?
So moved.
Second.
Madam Clerk, please call the roll on the motion.
Supervisor Ferretti.
Aye.
Councilman Dunn.
Aye.
Deputy Supervisor Gooseby.
Aye.
Councilwoman Miller.
Aye.
Councilman Muscarella.
Yes.
Councilwoman Ryder.
Aye.
Councilman Schneider.
Aye.
Okay. Madam Clerk, please call the administrative calendar.
Yes, so on the administrative calendar, we have items 8 through 45.
Okay. Does any member of the board wish to speak on any item on the administrative calendar? Okay. Now, I do have 3 speakers on the administrative calendar. First up, Chris Jacobs.
Good morning again.
Good morning.
Chris Jacobs, Uniondale. On item number 23, what were the unknown types of improvements that needed to be done, and can you provide specifics regarding that?
Okay. Morning, Commissioner Reinhardt.
Good morning, Supervisor Ferretti, Deputy Supervisor Gooseby, members of the town board, Commissioner Reinhardt, Department of Water. This is improvements at Roosevelt Field Well 10. When we first anticipated this project, based on the concentrations of contaminants, we weren't sure exactly what would have to be done. So the initial engagement with our professional was for study and design. We have since gotten approved plans from the Department of Health. So now it's just amending that for the construction work.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Jacobs. We also have another speaker who wishes to speak on item number 23, Assemblyman Noah Burrows. Mr. Burrows?
Good morning. Just wanted to know if, are you, or anyone on the board, are you aware of some of the major issues that are concerning certain parts of the district? I see you have engineers that you have that are looking to create a study to work on the water district in Roosevelt, but there are other issues in Roosevelt. I just wanted to know if there's any plans to ever work unilaterally with other agencies, state agencies, county agencies, school districts to try and figure out. There are other issues that are also plaguing Roosevelt as far as school districts being closed. There's a school building that's closed, Harry Daniels. Just wanted to know if there are any plans to try to collaborate in that manner.
So, Assemblyman, this is an administrative calendar, so if you have any questions on item number 23, as you indicated when you signed in, the commissioner is here to answer it. But you have to, we're taking questions now on an item on the administrative calendar. So do you have any questions on the item?
Not on that one, that's it.
Okay, thank you.
I'd like to answer his question.
Deputy Supervisor?
Hi. All of those people that you're worried about, the ones that you're worried about are usually in my district, and we do have people here who work with that. Anything I ask them to do, they take care of it. And I'd like to see that happen in the village of Hempstead because of, what has happened, and we are not having any help from you or any of the others. And I'm really very upset about that. And it certainly was a terrible thing that someone would sit there and do all of this work that is bad for all of us. We are not getting any help at all, and we should be getting help. because you're ruining out where we live. So I'm telling you, that's where I live, so I know how it is. But just know that whatever there is, you can talk to me because we take care of what is important to us.
Well, that's the
Thank
point.
you.
That's the reason why I'm here, collaboration. I wanted to know the ways that we could work together to assist the entire town of Hempstead, not just specific areas of Hempstead, all the areas, and specifically the ones that have been what we consider to be marginalized, haven't had a lot of service rendered to those communities. And that's the purpose for me asking the question. But anytime you or any other member want to work with any village or hamlet within my district, at least, I would love to see if we could collaborate on those.
Well, thank you so much. So that means that you will go back and when you talk to them, you let them know that they certainly should not have done what they've done with that building, you know, where it is. First of all, the first time we met, and because we knew about it and everybody came out and we did not accept it. But this time, no one gave us, we didn't know anything about it. I went to the you know I was there. And nobody answered me. They weren't nice enough to do what we needed to do in our community because we pay a lot of, you know, we pay a lot of money there. And not only, we don't have the water that we were supposed to have gotten, you know, it didn't come in. We're all buying our own water. And the fact is too, when you build those buildings, 4-story buildings that are so small that the people who live on that street cannot use the sidewalk because it's too small for them. So what that company has done is taken away the water, take away the, you know, what they're supposed to be there for the residents who live there. We have to go back, so we're not letting it go. So please, you know, thank you for coming and thank you for saying what you're saying. So that way I know that you're going to be able to help us with that. So thank you.
Well, to speak on behalf of the village, I'd say just as well as their town meetings, their village meetings, board meetings as well. So I believe the specific building you're referring to, there was open calls, there was meetings. We had prior to the meeting that you attended, where people could have expressed their concern about that building, and at that time there was no one there, so the item passed.
Well, no, it wasn't, you didn't put it on, it wasn't done the right way. You were there when I spoke about this because the first time we knew and we all got together and because we don't want that in our neighborhood, you're really hurting us. I want you to come by and I'll show it to you so that you can come up with what you're doing. But as far as
that.
money is
Sure.
concerned, we have a certain amount of money in each of our districts and we're doing that the best we can. Thank you so much for
Thank you.
coming.
Okay, our next speaker is Joe Shinablo.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning, residents. Item 14, is there a dollar amount
Mr. Town
listed
Attorney?
on it? And what was it used for? I see it's some sort of signage. When were those signs ordered? How much did we spend on the signs?
Approximately $5,000. We can get you the actual invoice if you like.
Yes.
It was for banners for an event that occurred in July of this year.
So just $5,000.
Correct.
For those signs. And Deputy Supervisor Gooseby, I appreciate you bringing up something. And you said it wasn't done the right way, right? And that's
Sir, what item are you now commenting on?
I'm still commenting on 14. It was done the right way. So there was no dollar amount in there. And I mean, I'll comment on many things. One is you and just lying to the people. And lying about my character, by the way, which is fine because I am a Marine
Mr.
combat
Schnabel,
veteran, retired New York City
Mr.
police
Schnabel,
officer, former
I don't mean to
prosecutor.
interrupt you, but
No, it's okay. I got 3 minutes.
you,
We can
in
have a
all
conversation.
fairness, if you want to talk about an item on the calendar, that's great. You'll get your chance after to
Yeah.
discuss anything you want.
I just want to leave at this. It's a beautiful day in the town of Hempstead to root out waste, fraud, and abuse, and now corruption. Because we know there's corruption going on.
Sir, do you have a
And we're
comment on
gonna
an
get to
item
the
in the
bottom.
administrative calendar at some
Oh,
point?
you want to address the corruption in the town of
You have an
Hempstead?
item in the
Love to hear
administrative
it.
calendar at
Mr.
some point.
Ferretti,
I'm sorry, Mr.
love to
You
hear
have a
it.
question about
Yeah,
an item, what number?
Talk about the corruption that's
Okay.
going on in the town of
Thank you,
Hempstead.
sir.
I thought so. Silence again. Silence again.
Do we have any other speakers who wish to speak on the administrative calendar? Good morning. If you could please give your name and address for the calendar, for the record.
Diane Madden, Hempstead. Dorothy Gooseby, please don't talk about what's right and wrong. You should be sitting in the supervisor's seat.
Ms. Madden, what
interim
number on the
I'd
administrative
like to
calendar
ask
would you like to
about
speak on?
item 34.
Okay.
Just please don't talk about the right way of doing
Miss
things,
Madden,
Councilwoman.
Miss Madden, you asked about 34.
I understand you.
The town has received the lawsuit, and we, from time to time, hire outside counsel. Quite frankly, the town attorney's office has been an area where our controller's been very happy because we've saved certain money on salaries. There's a lot less attorneys in it now. So from time to time, in specialized instances, we hire outside counsel, and this is one of those instances.
So you have fewer town attorneys, or rather deputy town attorneys, but
Deputy
you have
town
more
attorneys, that's
contracted
correct.
attorneys.
Excuse me?
But you have more contracted outside attorneys.
That is correct.
So how is that saving money?
Saves money on benefits and things like that. Quite frankly, from speaking with the controller, it's been a big help to us.
Well, I don't know how much money you're saving with 3 lawsuits against the animal shelter where you have to hire outside counsel, but I'm going to take your word for it now until we see the numbers. Also, on the resolution calendar, could someone please tell me, and maybe I overlooked it, but I don't see where the various jobs are, where previously it was very transparent. And it's a question for you, interim supervisor, unelected John Ferretti. Are you going to bring back where it was transparent on the agenda, who was being hired, who was on vacation, who was being promoted?
Do you have a number that you'd like us to reference?
I'm asking where that number is. I don't see the issue on the calendar. Is that missing?
If you have a question about an item on the calendar, we'd be happy to answer it.
I'm wondering why it's not an item
So
on
you
the
have
calendar.
no further questions on any items on the administrative
So you
calendar?
intentionally removed it from the calendar.
Thank you, Ms. Madden.
So no one even knows what the hiring is, who's getting promoted, who's getting jobs? It used to at least be on the calendar for people to be able to foil.
If you have a question about an item on the calendar, we'll be happy to
No, my
answer it.
remark is that this is just showing less transparency than ever under your administration. And I have to be honest with you, this is feeling more and more like the Mangano era. And I don't know what's going on.
Comment about less transparency. We are following the law with regard to the hiring and transferring and leave of absences. And Mr. Ferretti has done nothing. He has changed nothing. This is something that's been going on for some time.
So
in the town.
where is
so
the
to paraphrase
resolution?
that he's changed something is absolutely incorrect.
You know, there are a lot of people that follow the law, and that's a good thing. But we need people that are ethical and moral and transparent. Have a nice day.
You too. Okay. Do we have any other speakers? Do we have any other speakers? You already spoke, sir. Please. Sir, you already spoke on the administrative calendar. Okay. Do we have any other?
What was the lawsuit for? Do we know?
Okay. Do we have any other speakers who wish to speak on the administrative calendar? Since there are no more speakers.
Mr. Schnabel, you only get one shot at the administrative calendar. You used it. I will answer it this way. You're very aware of the lawsuit that you brought. And we will not comment on pending litigation here that was just brought. But you're very aware of that lawsuit.
Sir, since you already spoke, can you let the other residents speak and have a chance? Thank you. Thank you. Can we let other people speak? Okay. All right. I'm not angry at all. I don't know what you're talking about. Yes, sir. Name and address for the record, please.
James Hodge, Nassau County. Item
morning.
34, can you explain that? Just wanted to know a little bit about the lawsuit, corruption, and also, what do you have to say about that?
Well, it's a matter of public record. You see there's an index number there.
Is there corruption?
I will tell absolutely not.
It's
None to my
not?
knowledge.
Oh.
Absolutely not. Certain allegations Mr. Schnabel made that, quite frankly, we don't think have any merit.
Well, you're the
But as a
attorney,
result
so
of the
you are not
lawsuit,
supposed to
as a
think.
result of the lawsuit, we have to defend it, and that's what we're doing. We're not going to comment on the specifics of it. But it is a matter of public record, so you can research those the allegations.
I
in the
think you're
complaint.
going to have to research and do a little better job at what you're trying to do, because the prosecutor is doing what he's doing, and that's why it's all in the newspapers. You've been used to doing what you've been doing, but you can't get away with it that easily right now. You've been doing it. You've done it 6 times, and the supervisor he got the position in a way of cheating. It's there. I
Can I
don't
ask
see,
you
I
something?
don't.
You mentioned
You,
six times.
you're not the supervisor. You're not the super. Hold on. Let me finish.
You're
Stop my
addressing
time
me.
then.
You mentioned six
Is my
times.
time going to stop when you start talking? Hold on. You ain't going to bully me, Doc. You do that to somebody else. Hold on. I got my time. Thank you. What I'm saying is you've cheated. Like I said before, you should not feel proud about what you're doing and not given an opportunity. And so when we talk about 35, when we talk about cheating, you're in a place that you're in by cheating. Are you used to that? You couldn't run a fair game against a prosecutor, a former decorated combat veteran, a police officer. Yeah, I want to take my time and talk about this. A win is a win, whether it's Republican or Democrat, but you didn't do that. And so the August 5th, by the time that we got out of here, your name was already on billboards already around the whole town of Hempstead, the largest township in the whole country. It's cheating. How do you feel good about that? Why is somebody retiring or resigning from their job? Because we found out it was cheating. And so when we look at it all over the country and you say, oh, that's not us in the town of Hempstead. Well, Mr. Ferretti, you got your position by cheating. And if you're so used to it, then that's why you feel that you can smile and go around and shake hands as the supervisor. Just remember in history, you cheated on August 5th. And I hope the people of town of Hempstead understand that you feel that they're so dumb that they won't do nothing by you cheating. I hope that they let you know that they don't accept what you've done. And so I thank you for this time, because whether someone is against you or for you, you should let them and give them an opportunity to speak. Don't be harder on the people that's paying your bill and paying your salary. So again, in the town of Hempstead, stop cheating. Let that be on the record.
Thank you, sir. Do we have anybody else that wishes to comment on the administrative calendar? Yes, yes, ma'am. Good morning. If you could just give us your name and address for the record, please.
My name is Lynn Krug, resident of Garden City. I have a question on item number 14. Sorry I was late, but I was in touch with the New York State Ethics Board about something. On number 14, it's a resolution confirming payment by the town of Hempstead to DBA Fast Signs, Office of Communications and Public Affairs. How much money was expended on this and what did it cover?
Approximately $5,000, and it covered banners for an event that was held in July in the town of Hempstead. We do it from time to time. We have a lot of events in the town. They just had a very, very successful event this past weekend, and we would like to let the residents know. I think there was an estimate of 12,000 people there this weekend.
All right, I have another question. Item number 36, bond resolution. You authorize the financing of the payment of a settled claim by the town of Hempstead in the litigation in the Supreme Court of the state of New York, Nassau County. And there's a reference number stated. What was the estimated maximum cost thereof is $180,000, appropriating said amount for such purpose and authorizing the issuance of 180,000 serial bonds to finance the said appropriation. Can you elaborate on what this payment was for?
It was for a lawsuit that was settled as a result of an injury, as the allegations were that one of the diving boards at our pool, one of our pools, was defective. There was a serious leg injury. There were some issues with the case, and as a result of that, we got a very, very favorable settlement based upon the extent of the injury at $180,000.
Okay, what's your plan going forward then? If you had something that was defective, are you going out inspecting the facilities to make sure that this doesn't happen again?
The Parks Department, it's one of the questions that was raised when this came up. The Parks Department routinely inspects our pools and other parks in the town to make sure they're not defects. But in some instances, this was a case where the gentleman was in the pool and he didn't realize, and the town, it was a short period of time where the defect occurred, and he didn't realize there was a problem with the diving board, and as a result, he was significantly injured as a result. But as I said before, we got a significant savings with regard to the settlement.
Okay, maybe we shouldn't have diving boards and then we wouldn't have this problem. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Krug. Does anybody else wish to speak on the administrative calendar? Okay, there being no further comment, may I have a motion on the administrative calendar?
Yes, Mr. Supervisor, I move that we get rid of this calendar. Let it go.
Okay.
Second motion.
Right.
Supervisor Ferretti,
Aye.
Councilman Dunn,
Aye.
Deputy Supervisor Gooseby,
Aye.
Councilwoman Miller,
Aye.
Councilman Muscarella,
Aye.
Councilwoman Ryder,
Aye.
Councilman Schneider.
Aye.
Mr. Supervisor, it's come to my attention that Deputy Supervisor Gooseby would like to have her minority counsel, Stephen Lester, read a statement into the record before we adjourn the meeting.
Okay, well, Mr. Lester, on behalf of Deputy Supervisor, just let's hold off on the clock. Go ahead.
Good morning, Supervisor Ferretti, Deputy Supervisor Gooseby, members of the Town Board. I serve as legal counsel to Deputy Supervisor Gooseby. I speak on her behalf to clear up some of the constituents' confusion regarding the events at the August 5, 2025 Town Board meeting. Specifically, Deputy Supervisor Gooseby asked me to address former Supervisor Don Clavin's resignation, Supervisor Ferretti's appointment as Town of Hempstead Supervisor shortly after the resignation, and Deputy Supervisor's legal status during the Town Board meeting. For background, a few years ago, Don Clavin nominated Deputy Supervisor Gooseby for that position, and that appointment was confirmed by the entire Town Board. The Hempstead Town Code, Section 21-2, addresses the duties of the Deputy Supervisor and when the Deputy Supervisor assumes the duties of the Supervisor. Quote, in case the office of Supervisor becomes vacant, or in case the Supervisor shall be absent or unable to act, the Deputy Supervisor in office at that time shall assume all duties and obligations of the Supervisor under the Town Code and the laws and the Town Law of the State of New York, and shall continue in such capacity until a new Supervisor shall assume office or the absent or incapacitated Supervisor shall return to office. At the August 5 Town Board meeting, after the public hearing and decision calendar concluded, and immediately following a short recess, Don Clavin announced his resignation as Supervisor of the Town of Hempstead. At that point, under Town Code Section 21-2, since Mr. Clavin resigned, Dorothy Gooseby, as the, quote, Deputy Supervisor in office at that time, assumed all of the duties and obligations of the Supervisor. However, the Town Code of the Town of Hempstead does not provide for the Deputy Supervisor to assume the office of the Supervisor upon a vacancy in the Supervisor's office. The Town Code specifically states that Deputy Supervisor only, quote, shall assume all duties and obligations of the Supervisor. This section of the Town Code confirms later that Deputy Supervisor is not automatically elevated to the position of Supervisor when it provides that the Deputy Supervisor, quote, shall continue in such capacity until a new Supervisor shall assume office. At the August 5 Town Board meeting, after former Supervisor Clavin's resignation, Deputy Supervisor attended to the administrative calendar. After the administrative calendar was approved, Councilman Muscarella made a motion to appoint Supervisor Ferretti to fill the vacancy by Mr. Clavin's resignation. That motion was approved by the Town Board by a 5-0 vote, with Deputy Supervisor Gooseby making it clear on the record that she did not vote or otherwise participate in the process by which Supervisor Ferretti was appointed as Town of Hempstead Supervisor. After the meeting concluded, during the public comment period, many speakers questioned why Deputy Supervisor Gooseby was not elevated to the office of Supervisor of the town of Hempstead. One constituent even stated that Deputy Supervisor Gooseby, quote, was the next person in line, close quote, for the supervisor's office. That is incorrect. Town code does not provide for the deputy supervisor to assume the office of the supervisor. It only provides for the deputy supervisor to assume all duties and obligations of the supervisor until the office is filled. Now, by contrast, Article 2, Section 1 of the United States Constitution provides for the vice president to assume the office of the president upon the president's removal from office, death, or resignation. Likewise, the New York State Constitution, Article 4, Section 5 states, quote, in case of the removal of the governor from office or of his or her death, the lieutenant governor shall become the governor for the remainder of the term. The town code of the town of Hempstead does not provide for this automatic succession of the deputy supervisor to the supervisor's office upon a supervisor's resignation. I hope this clears up any confusion town constituents may have had regarding why deputy supervisor did not automatically assume the office of the supervisor upon Don Clavin's resignation. Deputy Supervisor Gooseby's time in public office has seen the town of Hempstead with 6 different supervisors. She looks forward to working with the current supervisor and any future elected supervisor to ensure that her constituents in Councilmanic District Number 1 get their fair share of town resources. This was one of the primary goals of the Gooseby versus Town of Hempstead Voting Rights Act lawsuit commenced in 1988 and concluded in 2000. That lawsuit resulted in the creation of the 6 councilmanic districts in the town of Hempstead, so specific geographic areas and communities of the town could have individual representatives on their town board. And in my personal opinion, this is the signature achievement of Deputy Supervisor Gooseby's distinguished service to her community, both in and out of office. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Deputy Supervisor Gooseby, and thank you, Mr. Lester, for speaking on behalf of Deputy Supervisor Gooseby. Okay. May I have a motion to adjourn?
I move that we adjourn.
Second.
Supervisor Ferretti?
Aye.
Councilman Dunn?
Aye.
Deputy Supervisor Gooseby?
Aye.
Councilwoman Miller?
Aye.
Councilman Muscarella?
Aye.
Councilwoman Ryder?
Aye.
Councilman Schneider?
Aye.
Now that the formal town board meeting is ended, the town board will remain to listen to comments of the residents. We have numerous people that have signed in. First up, Lynn Krug.
Gee, my timing was excellent today. I don't have to stay for 5 hours. Thank you. Lynn Krug, Garden City, New York. Mr. Ferretti, your appointment to supervisor has been controversial and reflects poorly on all involved. You can earn the trust and respect of your constituents by leading the charge to reverse the change in zoning that allows gambling at the hub. Although you voted in favor of the Las Vegas Sands so-called integrated resort when you were a legislature, you did not vote on this zoning change. Since that ship has sailed, it's time to undo this mess. Do you know that Las Vegas is not doing well? And what about the incident in Sullivan County where the taxpayers are bailing out a failed casino? This economic news does not bode well for a casino at the hub or gambling at the hub. And while I'm up here, I want to call out the out-of-control spending on new signage at the town of Hempstead. Has the board ever considered passing a law that removes the names of elected officials from all signs? Think of the millions of dollars saved by passing such laws. And please stop with the glossy flyers. I love the one, you can lower your property taxes, we can help. Why did someone think it was necessary to mail out 2 flyers? Don't you think the 10.5 by 5 flyer was too small and that the larger flyer, 10.5 by 8, might get my attention? To fix the tax system, that we've been waiting too long for this to happen, and it doesn't take a rocket scientist to fix this assessment system. Sadly, the real reason is that the tax reduction firms are major campaign donors. And I just wanted to illustrate what I'm talking about as far as your flyers are concerned. This is a large one. 2 days later, I received a small one. What is going on? And sadly, how many times have I approached this board? Now, when you were supervisor, let's stop this passport weekend days. This is ridiculous. I went to the Garden City Post Office and inquired. From application to delivery, they are running 6 weeks, 4 to 6 weeks. Of course, that depends on the Department of State, which neither you, Town of Hempstead, or Garden City Post Office can run. But of course, this flyer is not even accurate because you give a date of 8 to 10 weeks for these applications to be processed. So why are we duplicating a program that the United States Postal Service runs quite well? The documents are sent out from the post office as soon as they're sealed and delivered. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Krug. Next up, Pearl Jacobs.
Pearl Jacobs, Uniondale. As a tax-paying resident and civic association president, over the years, I have been disappointed by the lack of investment in services that stifle the quality of life and positive development in the town of Hempstead's underserved communities. As this has been an embarrassment for the town of Hempstead. However, for the country's largest township in America to practice deceitfulness, to circumvent the democratic process, and to break the law for political gain is extremely discouraging. Is this the example that you're leaving for our next generation? So I guess redlining just wasn't doing it for you. It's not enough. I know the lawyer got here, the attorney got up here earlier, but I still have my comments to make about this because it absolutely disturbs me. By disregarding Dorothy Gooseby, and I'm referencing the state codes here. Her legal and rightful term to assume the position of the first African-American woman, Town of Hempstead supervisor, was disrespectful, and it screams of blatant racism. What qualifications did Mr. Ferretti have that Ms. Dorothy Gooseby did not have, why she was not placed in her rightful position? I know, crickets. So our voices cannot be stifled. We will continue to call out discrimination. We will continue to call out any sort of issues that would downturn our communities and our town. It's embarrassing. Town of Hempstead is the largest township in America, and for this to go on is absolutely appalling. We will fight against, our voices cannot be stifled. I'll say that again, and we will fight against any authoritarian tactics. Thank you.
Leslie Martin.
Leslie Martin, I'm from Baldwin.
Good morning.
I've been residing in the town of Hempstead for 25 years. I have never experienced the politically motivated manipulation of the law as I've witnessed in the town of Hempstead. I do agree with what Mr. Lesser said. I looked at the town code. The town code is very vague, and the town code has been manipulated in order to put Mr. Ferretti in the supervisor spot. The town council has demonstrated there are no lines that they will not cross to gain an unfair political advantage in the upcoming election in November. Ahead of that now infamous town council meeting on August 5th, Republicans shrugged off any conspiratorial intentions to have Don Clavin step down from his supervisor spot and appoint Mr. Ferretti in advance of the November election. Yet, as the council has done on numerous occasions over the past decade, the incumbent Republican supervisors stepped down on the eve of a free and fair election so their Republican candidate, Mr. Ferretti, could step in and reap the benefits of free election publicity and photo ops on the dime of the residents of the town. If this strategic manipulation of the town code were not enough, the council has crossed yet another line in the sand. Upon Clavin's sudden resignation on August 5th, the council appointed him to an unnamed job, matching Clavin's salary as supervisor of $179,375. Although community members repeatedly asked the town what job Clavin would be assuming, the town was silent. Why were they silent? Because they knew they had illegally given a no-show job in the town of Hempstead. 3 weeks later, his new job title was finally revealed as Community Services Representative in the Department of Planning and Economic Development. Notably, this department has not conducted any business for years. The community pushback has been immediate and palpable, and Clavin knew he was in the crosshairs. Shortly after his position was announced, Clavin resigned from this fraudulent position and retired from the town of Hempstead. He didn't step down for the good of the town. He stepped down because the handwriting was on the wall. Clavin knew the conspiracy to defraud the town had been exposed, and he didn't even need to rely on his legal background to know he had committed a felony because it was valued at over $179,000. As a resident of the town of Hempstead, I urge Joseph Nacella, the U.S. Attorney for the Eastern District of New York, to open an investigation into the corrupt and illegal activities of Donald Clavin and the town council. Furthermore, Clavin's illegal conduct is inconsistent with any position of public trust, any position at all, in the county, in the town, in the United States, New York, anywhere.
Thank you. James Hodge. James Hodge. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. Ma'am, we have 3 minutes. Mr. Hodge.
Time is up.
Okay. Thank you.
I've basically said everything I needed to say, but I'll take the time because we are in America and we are able to do this. And so you may have had the attorney come up and speak about the legalities in the switch, but it was wrong. You've done it 6 times, and the people of the town of Hempstead need to understand that you did it to, again, cheat and do everything that others have stated. So your name can go all over the town, free mailers, hundreds of thousands of mailers going to everyone's house, billboards, and all of those things. So, again, it's wrong. You did it. You don't care about doing it, and it shows your character. You know, my brother is a 31-year veteran of the Marines, and I look up to him very much. And so the things that you put out against Joe, you're running against him. But when you put out lies, it's wrong. He's a combat veteran. He fought for you to be doing what you're doing now, not lying. But he fought for our freedom. He decided to say that I can get killed, but when people are running out, I'm going to run in. He decided to say that I'm going to prosecute against those that break the law. He decided to say that I'm going to arrest those that go against the law. And you would approve the literature that goes out. You may not come up with the ideas. I don't know whoever come up with them, but you approve them. And you do that to a outstanding man that fought for all of us, who has a family, has a wife, children. And you approve that to go all over to all of the people that don't even know him. Why? Shows your character. And so I say to everyone, why would you do this? Why would the board vote for you to get in? Well, they've done it many times before, and it don't mean that it's right. It's so you can have an advantage. You can disenfranchise all of the voters that may never know you. You'll go around to all of the departments to get them on your side, work your different deals throughout the departments, and so they can support you. It's wrong, and I think you should have said, I'm going to run a fair election. But again, fair elections with some people is kind of hard. We can see that. So again, I'm just here to say that it was wrong. And to continue lying on someone that fought for our freedom and approving the literature to go out, you're wrong. And I pray that God will see through all of this, because God has the last say in all of this. And I pray that God do something in your heart and all those that voted on this. You brought your family here to see you cheat, and that
Thank you,
was wrong.
sir. Have a great day. Next up, we have Paris Popak. Good morning.
Hi, good morning, Supervisor, Deputy Supervisor, and the Board of Town of Hempstead. My name is Paris Popak, and I live in Lawrence. I've been a community advocate for Lawrence and the 5 towns for many years, and I'm here today to speak about the issue with the repeal of the TOD zoning in Inwood and North Lawrence. I know it's a broken record, but it's taken me here based on a lot of decisions that were made and not made. As you know, I have come before you for over 3 years to fight for our community on this. You ultimately heard us, you understood our plight, and voted unanimously to rescind the dangerous zoning from 2019. So my question is, why are you reneging on what you agreed to? Why aren't you doing what you're supposed to? Especially since the board's independent Nelson Pope Voorhis engineering report listed all the serious risks to our community if this were to go forward. You must put this back on your agenda. Send the correct version to the planning board. That was the mistake originally. Send the correct version. And then re-vote on it to repeal this once again. That's exactly what the court directed you to do in their original decision. So when the residents are told that you can't do this, when they call up and say, please do it, and they're told that you can't, that's not correct. This is not complicated, it's very simple. The 5 towns community is uniformly against this project, unless they're friends with the developers. We hope that Supervisor Ferretti has the acumen to do this and to lead the board to do the right thing once again. And please do this immediately. I thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Next up, we have Greg Naham.
Good morning, Board. Good morning, Supervisor, Deputy Supervisor.
Good morning.
I'm here on a different subject. Anyway, I came after Hurricane Sandy, because let me just say, I wear a few different hats, but what I do is building permits. I try to get building permits, and I do it in 4 different states. And one of the things that after Hurricane Sandy, there was a tie-up with the FEMA permits. There was only one person doing them, and I brought a couple of names of companies that had some qualified people to do that, but the town stepped up and they moved forward, the town, and got people on board, other people to do the FEMA permits, and that worked through very nicely. After COVID, the town went from the paper form supervisor, which you're new here, I've been 42 years here, so when people mentioning years, and gone into the digital portal, which is working out really well, and a compliment because we work again, in 4 states and in New York and on Long Island, this happens to be the best portal. It really is to work on. I did make a correction at the very beginning. I went up because I went to the information desk. I still had to get the owner to sign off on what they were going to do, what we would be doing for them, because there was not a form at that time. And I introduced that to the gentleman at the information desk, and he brought it back, I guess, in the information. And then maybe a week or so later, this form came out, which is very helpful. Then, after COVID, the building department went through a renaissance and got turned around. And maybe somebody, you or somebody will be promoting a new building commissioner, could take a look at the workflow, because the old workflow, the way they had it, was sort of like a bullpen. And let's say if there were 10 people, 10 planners, they could have 10 clients there at a time. Now it seems to be bottlenecked in 1 or 2 rooms that they have these meetings. So perhaps the next person in line can take a look at that workflow, because it seems to be the flow after COVID has slowed down a bit. And maybe that configuration has led to that. I don't know that, but for a fact, but something, it's gone slower. Again, you have some very good people up there. In the commissioner's office, at the information desk, and there was a legend, and I went to her retirement party, which was Ramona, and there's some very good people up there. And if everyone had her attitude and her work ethic.
Thank you, Mr. Naham. Thank you for your comments. Thank you for your compliments. As someone who in a prior life did some zoning and land use work myself, I can agree with you that the switch over to the online system was fantastic, and it's really top notch. And if you have any other questions or concerns, Commissioner Leo is here, and he can speak to you in the back. So just let me tell you, Commissioner Leo's here, and he'd be happy to speak to you in the back about any suggestions you have, okay? Thank you, sir. Okay, next up, Richard Shurin.
Richard Shurin, I'm a resident of Island Park.
Good morning.
I started coming to meetings many years ago when Anthony Santino was actually the supervisor. And I grew very frustrated with the way the town of Hempstead operated. In particular, you don't follow clear practices. In many ways, things are done in not a transparent way. And I became disillusioned. I stopped coming to meetings. Now, with what happened in August, it's clear to me that nothing has changed. And I'm very disappointed with Dorothy Gooseby and her council's representation. Obviously, the infirmity, what went wrong there was no transparency to people. Nobody knew what was going on. You had this plan behind closed doors, and then you executed it. Nobody knew. And while it may have been following the letter of the law, it certainly was not the way you should treat, the people that you represent. So I'm very disappointed that nothing seems to change, and I'm also disappointed with that. It seems to be that you don't get good legal counsel, because in my experience, especially with zoning, for example, the town of Hempstead participates in what I consider to be spot zoning, meaning anybody can come to the town and ask for relief from the zoning board for any reason, and it can be granted. As a result, you have a mishmash in the town that really doesn't serve residents. And then also what happens is you do things that clearly disadvantage and prejudice developers, for example. You encourage them to develop properties, you grant them permits, and then when the citizens object, you reverse. And many times you do things that are, quite frankly, not legal, and you always seem to lose in court. In my experience, in my particular neighborhood, we went through a 5 or 6 year process where, because of the town's negligence, quite frankly, the developer ultimately was able to develop a huge rental property. And I see it happening in the 5 towns and other places. It doesn't seem like you're getting good legal advice or you're soliciting good legal advice. You don't follow proper legal practices, in my opinion. And, you know, it's frankly embarrassing. This is the largest township in the United States, and you don't act in a professional manner. And, you know, I'm kind of sick of, you know, having to, you know, explain it to people. So that's my comments. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Diane Madden?
Diane Madden, Hempstead. I think the Democrats are smelling a win when you see Rich Hearn return to the meeting. So welcome back, Rich. I wanted to talk about the TNR and that dog and pony show, where you had the animal shelter van, surgical van taken off property to outfit it with your name on it, John Ferretti, and to do a photo op with, by the way, people who have betrayed the animal shelter employees by virtue of understanding that there's a skeletal staff there. And you left that staff, and so did the acting director, who doesn't set a good example in the first place through lack of adhering to safety protocols and the root of all of these lawsuits. But you left these employees who allegedly the CSEA is so fond of and has such an affection for, except for the fact that the employees are wearing 10 hats in that animal shelter, and they're scrambling to try to figure out how to, you know, make your political prop successful when they know it's not going to be successful because you took a van off property that needs to be on property, even for emergencies. So just to go back a little bit, I know you're at a disadvantage here, John. I met with Anthony D'Esposito and the commissioner. They were interested, which of course never was a success, in a satellite TNR program, because our idea was if every council person put a satellite in their district, that would alleviate the problem. You haven't, by the way. It's 6 of one, half dozen of the other, because you've removed a van that they need on site. But regardless, we sat down and they tried to convince me that they would take the surgical van from the animal shelter, some employees, and I said, absolutely not. I can't be a part of that. The animal shelter cannot spare any employees. That cannot spare the surgical van. So I just wanted to point that out, that it was very obvious that there was never a plan in place, just like, well, I should say actually opposite of you being appointed. There was never a plan in place before you decided to cart this van off and leave the animal shelters, dogs and cats without emergency surgery access. And again, as far as the CSEA, they should be ashamed of themselves, talking about how they criticized Joe Shinablo, the best candidate Hempstead has ever seen, and criticized him for accusing or allegedly accusing some staff of not being qualified, when the prior president herself filed a lawsuit against the town alleging that she was overlooked for her qualifications, and instead donors and loyalists were hired. So shame on them for really not representing those town employees. Please do consider, since you're copying everything Joe Shinablo is doing, John Ferretti, please consider moving forward with an audit, both fiscally and operationally, and also debate him. If we can get a date for a debate, that would be great. Thank you.
Thank you. Joe Shinablo. One more.
It's a beautiful day in the town of Hempstead to root out waste, fraud, abuse, and corruption. Let's start there. Brian, you kind of misinformed some people the other day, Mr. Devine, and this is for you, Mr. Ferretti. Look, they're right. They legally muted the voice of the people through their political theater and their political stunts. And yes, Mr. Ferretti, you do lie. You lie about me and my character, and you lie about being a proven tax cutter, because here's the truth. I deal with facts as a prosecutor, as a cop, and as a Marine. He's done nothing but to cost taxpayer dollars since the day he was coronated. That's the truth, and that's a fact. But Mr. Brian Devine, you're right. There's two distinguishable things going on here. The fact that you legally muted the voice of 750,000 people when there was a fully elected board, and there's also the fact that you broke the law in doing so. And Mr. Ferretti, you admitted to it twice on 2 separate occasions. You.
Me?
Yeah. And don't act surprised. It's actually on News 12. You can watch it. He admitted to it. So look, here's what's going on here. This is nuts. I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. He gets anointed, coronated. Don Clavin resigns, and we beg transparency, right? Where's Don at? Where's Don at? What's his salary? Where's Don at? Finally, the pressure was too much. We found out Don was reporting to and going to work at a building that has been shut down for the past 5 years. That's fraud. That's fraud. Tom, I see you smiling. I got to call you out, man. I didn't want to. Chris Schneider and Tom, and I've been able to speak to them. Such a gentleman. Chris Schneider, I appreciate your time. We were in Freeport. But Tom, I met you at the SMART conference, remember? And
Sir, can you use the microphone? Talk into the microphone?
Hear me, though. Don't worry.
I really can.
But
I'd love to. Please, use the microphone.
Corruption. Tom, SMART conference. I'm going to tell you what you told me. I didn't want to disclose this because maybe you're hedging your bet and playing both sides. Tom told me, I cannot wait for you to get elected. He said Ferretti was arrogant and you didn't want to work with him. That's at the SMART conference, Tom. That's what we spoke about. You don't remember that. Go ahead,
Joseph, you have to stop. That's not true. Stop.
So you're lying.
Stop it.
Ferretti's lying. Look, I'm calling people out, right? Facts matter. There's corruption going on in this town, and you said those words. I was there. You said those words. Go ahead, Tom.
I'm going to say it a second time. Stop. Those words were not said. Whatever kind of memory or imagination you have is faulty. So stop.
My mic is turned off because they don't want me speaking the truth. The truth hurts.
It's actually been on the whole time. You're not using it.
I'm a Marine combat veteran, retired cop, and a former prosecutor. And
Now your time's up. Any other public comment?
Stop. Please stop.
Do we have any other public comment? Okay, thank you. Have a good day. Oh, I'm sorry. Deputy Supervisor Gooseby has something to say.
Just 1 minute, sir. You're using my time. Sit down. First of all, I want to make it clear to everyone, I have no desire to work in this position that he's in. None whatsoever. My desire is to continue with what I am doing. Just listen to me. I don't have time to bother with people that can't listen. That's why I'm getting to say this now, because all the things that some of you have promised that you were doing for me, you did nothing. And I know all of you, and I know a lot of things that you don't know that I know. But let me tell you, I am well educated for what I'm doing. I have had a rough time in my life, going to school in the South when we weren't given books and so forth and things that we should have. I've done all of that, but I went through it because my parents were there and I went to church all the time. But from that, I have gone to Florida A&M University. I completed that. I've gone to Adelphi. I completed that. And I also have gone to Hofstra as well. Not only that, many hospitals, the best ones I have worked in. I have worked in all types of things, and I know what I'm doing. I like to work where I am because I can talk to the people that are around me, people who have not been taken care of. I do things that no one else has ever done. And I know some of you sit there and you talk about me and you say things, I know what you're doing, but it doesn't really bother me. I am the first person of color who has ever been the president of the Association of Towns, which is in the state of New York. I have done many things for you that you don't even know. Some of you didn't have anything in your house when it came to trying to get your water done, like we've done. You didn't get credit for that. And the fact that you didn't get all of the, what's the stuff I wanted to use now? When you go around, I don't know what you have on there. I can't see it. Water towel, yes. It is not corroded. Okay, well, you can talk after I talk. I've listened to you already. And I know of you because I know people who knew you before you moved here, because when I was on the board there, they would come and tell me who's done what. I know all of that stuff. I started this after Fred K. Brenton, we decided that we wanted to do something to make sure that everybody had an opportunity to do what they should do with their life. I started in 1988. 88 is when I started with this. And many of you know or don't know that I was really thrown out of many places because they didn't want me to run for what I've run for. But I did it. And even the guy who sent you here, he was one who really came up to me and said, I don't want you to have this. Well, it didn't matter because we still went ahead and we did what we had to do. It took from 88 to 99 before we finally won. And after I won, he asked me to come to this office to see him. I did. So he said to me, I don't want you to do this. And I said to him, listen, I only had one father and he didn't look like you. So I didn't have to worry about him. But let me tell you, I was a license in everything that I did. And I'm an elected official. I know you don't want to hear this now because you're hearing the truth. So just wonder you don't want to hear, keep walking because I don't care. And at this point, I still have a career that I can do anytime I want, and I do know what I need to do. So the ones of you who don't care, if you want to do this job, why don't you get yourself off your behinds and come on and work hard so you can do it too. You could do it. Since you're so smart, you can tell us all what to do and come and do it. And sir, I listen, you're talking about what we shouldn't do, but you are wrong. You don't ever come here and you don't know what's going on. And you, young man, I'm surprised at you. You know, the one over there in the blue suit that you finally set down. Not your son. I wouldn't speak to your son because your son knows better. You know, so you don't worry about that. What's his name? Your son, I think your son is I'm not talking to you. Well, good. I know you do. At the point in my, this is my career. I didn't ask you to speak. I do not want a full-time job. Decision to nominate me as a town supervisor had nothing to do but with racism, had nothing to do with that. So I'm not worried about it. But I tell you one thing, I try to treat people the way I'm supposed to be treated, and I watch and see what's going on, and that's what's important to me. All right? I hope you realize that. You know, I could tell you my whole life story, but I'm not going to go into any more. So I appreciate some of you who really think right, and we work as hard as we can. I have done so much, and many of you, you don't even know, I don't talk about it, but I do what I have to do. And these people do not stop me, okay? If I want to do something, I go ahead and I do it, and they do not stop me. Well, good.
Okay.
So I'm doing my work, so that's
Thank you.
it. Okay, I'm finished.
Thank you, Deputy Supervisor. Everybody have a great day.
Enough is enough.
They don't want to hear the truth. They want to-
I'm sorry, I didn't realize there was somebody still looking to speak. Just give me,
Thank you.
go ahead, sure.
Come on, if you want to speak, come on.
Hello? Okay, thank you. Good afternoon.
If you could just give us your name and name.
My name is Stephanie Chase. I'm from Lakeview. Utmost respect for you, Ms. Gooseby. I really do. I could only imagine all your challenges that you had to fight for. I'm just saying that the way this was done seemed disrespectful. I mean, I walked in here, and next thing I know, Mr. Claiborne's walking out. This guy's coming in. It was just, we weren't made aware. I mean, he didn't just walk onto the dais and decide to retire. It should have been announced or something because it looked bad. It looked like you were being stepped over. And everyone was angry at that because of you. And that's all I'm saying. That's what the problem is. And then immediately his name is on everything. I mean, 4 days and his name is on flyers. How could that be? It seems like it was something set up before. And we didn't know the law, and maybe it should have been explained, but it was just seemed so disrespectful. And that's the thing. That's all I have to say.
Thank you, ma'am. I think there was one more gentleman. Yes, sir.
Darian Ward from Baldwin. Good afternoon and good morning. I'm not sure. Good morning, Supervisor.
Morning, I think.
Good morning, Deputy Supervisor. I want to start by saying I appreciate the explanation offered by the attorney of the deputy supervisor, but I wasn't sure that I hear an explanation of a loophole as a way to get the town to do what it did to have the appointment of the supervisor. It just seems it was a semantics argument, duties versus the office. I think we can have that conversation later, but certainly if someone assumes the duties, it would be almost preferential that you also have the office. Maybe that's just my interpretation. I'm not an attorney, but I just find that to the public, it makes the most sense. I rise to speak on the break in the trust of the taxpayers of the town board. The unexplained and same-day resignation of the town supervisor presented a leadership opportunity for Councilperson Ryder to stand up for District 4. Instead, she chose politics over the people. She failed her district, consisting of villages and hamlets. She failed to be transparent and did not choose the residents' interest to have a vote on town leadership. Instead, she is on record overlooking the town charter law. She, like her colleagues on the board, took the vote from the town of Hempstead taxpayers, in short, to silence and cheat the residents and the law. District 4 includes Harbor Isle, Barner Island, Island Park, Oceanside, East Rockaway, Lynbrook and North Lynbrook, Lakeview, Rockville Center, South Hempstead, and South Baldwin. That's District 4. District 4 deserves better. District 4 deserves more. Transparency on the board is ideal. It is the hallmark of good governance, transparency. I say just broadly speaking that the election on November 4th is the new direction, a new vitality as to where we should go as a town. I don't see a vitality of transparency before me, and I think we need new leadership. So on November 4th, I expect the community to come out to vote community over politics. Thank you.
Thank you. Would anybody else like to speak? Yes, sir.
Good day. Still good morning. Good morning to you all. I wasn't going to speak on public comment, but since this came up, I just wanted to say something in regards to what Councilwoman Goolsbee said. Living in Uniondale, we're a neglected community. We are home to the worst water tower in all of the United States, along with the largest township in America. Also regarding the issue of what happened this past August 5th, it's just a process of which it went by to circumvent Deputy Supervisor Goolsbee, I felt was disrespectful. I mean, I've always seen things about her and heard about her fighting for this and fighting for that and doing everything. Growing up in a community where I went to predominantly minority schools, I was always taught that you try to achieve the best you can be. And to circumvent you, and I'm speaking to you directly now, Deputy Supervisor, I feel as a person in the next generation that I have a glass ceiling put onto me, because where it was time for you to ascend to the position of supervisor, there was no explanation. You just said, I don't want it. But all throughout the past and the history, whenever things have been put before you, you got pavilions named after you, people give you meetings and events, and they always talk about your accolades. But then when it's time for you to step up to the top office in the town of Hempstead, you ducked out of it. I can't explain that. To me, that putting a glass ceiling on me. Also, the fact that we were holding up the water tower, we hope it gets done as soon as possible. I'm sure you'll be there. Everybody be happy to see it, although we fought very hard for it. And as for saying that the communication between you and your constituents, well, the North Shore Garden Civic Association meeting is this coming Monday, September 8th at 7 p.m. at Van Ness Firehouse. We look forward to seeing you there. Thank you.
Maybe, just 1 minute. I'll do my best to make it, but I have a large schedule and people are already after me, and I go. So if I can, I'll try to be there. And if I do, it'll be really quick.
Okay, thank you.
As long as people are speaking the way they should, I will not listen to anyone who starts something that's not right. Thank you.
Okay, will you email invitations? So hopefully you answer that back too. Thank you so much.
All right. I want to thank everybody for coming, and I hope you have a good rest of your day. Thank you.